Right now we are on a small island outside of Kokkola. It is the autumn of 2023. On this island there is a dozen of small cabins, there's an old chapel, but the most important part is an old lighthouse. Next to this old lighthouse there's an old station for pilots that hasn't been used for maybe 20-30 years. It is right now an hostel. And in this building there's also a tower, and we are right now sitting atop of the tower. We have windows to all the sides of us, so we can see the autumn landscape. Right now there's a slight wind outside, so you might hear it rattling in the windows. The sea is calm, even if it's blowing, and we can see the trees on the island start to slowly turn into all the colors of Roska. It's yellow, orange and reds. My name is Joakim Jocke Finnholm. Welcome to the Invisible Cities podcast.
And my name is Anneli Holmström.
And with us today we have...
my name is Simon Gripenberg, and I'm an artist living and working in Ostrobotnia. Really glad to be talking to you today here on this beautiful site.
Oh, thank you. We're really glad to talk to you also. Yeah. So you got an exhibition coming up right now?
Yeah, I have a smaller exhibition in Vasa. It's an exhibition together with an artist from Sapmi in northern Finland. So we will be combining. We're working in a bit in different materials, but a bit with the same topics about the environment and climate change, such things, justice, issues about justice, and so on. So she's working mostly with paintings and in textile materials, whereas myself I do sculpture and installations. So I think we will get a nice combination of different techniques.
And what kind of sculptures are you going to be making? How big are they and materials?
Very different sizes, a lot of small scale models, and more kind of installations, experimental installations.
Okay.
And then some bigger sculptural works that I have been doing earlier. And I mostly use recycled materials, so that's also like a theme.
Yeah, a lot of some of the sculptures that I've seen, they look like some kind of a technology, but a technology that's made by hand or.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I have a brief background in engineering. I studied engineering back in the days for a couple of years. So I guess that's visible in my art also. And I'm kind of interesting to investigate and experiment through this simple techniques and with simple materials.
And what made the shift from working with engineering to art? Is it?
I've always been interested in technology and such, but as I studied engineering, I noticed about my own values. Kind of, I was a different person. For me, it was not
from the others that you were studying with, or
from the business side of it.
Okay,
like doing money through technology.
Yeah,
I somehow realized I'm a person. I'm more interested in the ideas and the concepts and the environment, nature, things like that. So therefore, at least for me, I noticed it wasn't the right place to be, and then I switched to art studies and kind of found myself in art.
Yeah,
but I still have the interest in technology. So I'm thinking a lot about low-tech solutions. I think nowadays much of the technology is really advanced. We ship materials across the globe and trading products, and this commercializing things. That's part of the sustainability of today. So I think I'd like to present like different ways of approaching problems. Kind of.
So it's an ethical thing also to work in this reduced technology, you know, because I was reading on your website and you said this kind of simplicity over complexity. But is that what you mean by that? It'd be interesting to hear more about it.
Yeah. I think that's one crucial part of it. This simplicity. I think many issues could be solved in simpler ways, using simpler materials and like making it in a smarter way. Of course, we have products that need high-tech solutions. Yeah. If we're talking in mics now and computer technology and communication that needs to be advanced, and medicine technology, for example.
Yeah, I think maybe it's like when people are building stuff, they usually take the material that are easy to find and not think about if it's a sustainable material or if it's even from the area. They just order stuff really from China and put together their gear with that instead of trying to find materials from the area.
Yeah. I think. And depending on the subject, many of the projects are related, for example, to physical phenomena like friction. I've done many wind projects, trying out different vertical wind turbines, small-scale models and a bit larger. And in those projects, I've tried to lower the friction, for example, by having the turbine to float in water or to spin on ice.
Yeah, I remember this piece. It was kind of there was like a circle cut out of the ice, and then this big kind of wind turbine sitting on top of it, if I remember right.
That was one project I made with an inventor, Janne Käpylehto, who does these ice carousels. He cuts out circular forms from sea ice, and when this ice sheet that's circular floats on the water, it spins really easily. The friction is close to zero.
Right.
And it's a really simple thing, like an ice sheet on water. And then I made some kind of sails that automatically opens and closes through the rotation. So there were like really few moving parts. So that's kind of the simplicity idea to one approach to use as few moving parts as possible and simple materials. And if you use recycled materials, you can also do it almost for free. It's possible to do a lot of experiments, like almost with zero budget. So that appeals.
And not wasting materials also, like, not making new materials to experiment.
Yeah, that's right.
But does this simplicity over complexity, does that apply to like your ideas as well? Or I guess your ideas and the way that you make work are not really two separate things. They, I guess I'm thinking about when you make a machine, then it has to work in a certain way. So do you get do you get the sort of thought of how can I make this thing happen, and then you build the machine from there, or?
Yeah. It's often like that. So it starts with I do a lot of sketching also, make simple sketches, thinking about solving a problem. How could it be solved? I sketch different ideas, and then maybe I pick the ones that I think will work best, and I build a small-scale model out of that. And often there are a lot of times when it doesn't succeed. So I think it's important part of the process also to be comfort with that. A lot of ideas.
Do you exhibit those those kind of maquettes that don't work, or?
Yes. Sometimes I had, but that was quite long ago. I had an exhibition with this wind sculptures and wind installations, and I also make videos of those when I do experiments outdoors. So then I also wanted to show these versions that didn't work that well. So it was like a process of the sketches, many sketches, then fewer small scale models, and then I made a couple of bigger ones. So,
does it change when you're making work for like in Blackwall, that this will be in a gallery space? And from what I understand, you do a lot of like public commissions or things that are outdoors. I mean, yeah, I'd be interested to know what exactly you're exhibiting in Blackwall, like what kind of.
Yeah. It feels, for myself, it feels like maybe it's like parallel processes. The experimental is one part, and then this public. I have made through the years some public sculptures that are like permanent for communities or smaller towns. So
you have one in Larsmo, right?
Yeah, there's also one in Larsmo.
And where else do you have them?
There is in Jakobstad this light sculpture.
Okay.
With the upper part of the sculpture is like a box of half reflecting mirrors. I don't know. Do you call it maybe spying glass? That's like if you see some movie where the police is
like these two-way mirrors.
Yeah, two-way mirrors.
Where is this in Jakobstad? I think I've seen it.
It's quite near the city center, near Optima school.
Okay, I can have a look.
Yeah. So it's like a box with this mirror material, and then in daytime it's reflecting, so it's like kind of closing this box. You can't see into it. It reflects the landscape when it's lighter outside and darker inside the box. But then in the evenings, when it gets dark, then the light inside the box goes on. So then it's lighter inside the box and darker outside. And then it's this half-reflecting mirror material. It gets to see through it.
Yeah.
So it visually opens up, and the light inside reflects like in there are infinite reflections in 3 dimensions of it.
Okay.
So if you see something like that, so that's one sculpture. It was a long answer. Yeah. And then in Pedersöre outside Larsmo, I have one. And then in Helsinki at the Museum of Technology, there's a park outside.
Yeah.
Where I made a wind sculpture. So, but sorry, you asked about the exhibition. So
I was just wondering if you changed the way of working for when you're presenting in a gallery space. I mean, of course you do, but
yeah. It feels like a different way. Actually, I haven't had that many like traditional exhibitions in the last years. So it's not so much to compare with.
Okay.
If you take the last years, but in this exhibition, it will be a lot of these processes being presented, both as objects and small-scale models, and then videos, movie clips that I have made from these processes, and some larger objects. So it will be look more like you get to see the process. It's not kind of different finished works that are for sale, but it's
And the videos are going to be kind of some of the kinetic sculptures.
Yeah, some of the kinetic sculptures. Yeah, also.
And this artist that you're exhibiting with, did you approach them and ask if they wanted to do an exhibition? How did this? How did you decide to work together?
Yeah, that was also an interesting story. I made last year. I made a publication about Sápmi. I was a couple of years ago on a residency, actually on an island also, as we are sitting now.
Yeah.
It was outside Lofoten in Norway, Skumvær, a small island with a lighthouse. And in this residency, I got to get in touch with the Sami culture. I've of course heard about it earlier a lot, but it got me to think even more about these issues and got myself engaged in the history, reading books and watching movies about Sami issues, Sami culture. So then last year I made a publication as I myself belong to a minority, the Swedish-speaking minority in Finland.
Yeah.
So I got the idea to make a publication where I make interviews with Swedish-speaking Finnish artists and activists and Sami artists and activists. Because I had kind of an idea that there are some similarities, that we could find connections, understand each other.
And these Swedish-speaking activists, are there people that you were familiar with already that you had approached?
Both. Some, and then I also some new people that I haven't spoken with earlier. So then in this, when I made this publication, I made a road trip through Sápmi, first through the Finnish part of Sápmi, Enare, up to Utsjoki and
Enare, I've been there. Yeah.
And the Norwegian part of Sápmi, up to Varangar and back to Karasjok, up to Laxselva and Alta, and then down to Kautokeino. And in Kautokeino, I interviewed Hilde Skanke Pedersen. She is the artist that I will make this exhibition with.
Okay.
So as I interviewed her, she had an exhibition in Kautokeino. So I watched that, and then I made an interview with her, and we somehow after that, on site after the interview, we somehow felt that the thematics of our art is there are similarities, a lot of similarities.
What are the similarities?
She uses also lots of recycled materials, right. And thematically she is also engaged like in issues about the environment and justice and such. So we discussed then that it would be nice to make an exhibition together. And we had plans for having one exhibition in Sápmi and one in Swedish-speaking part of Finland. So we made the contact to many different art halls, galleries, but it turned out we had plans for example, Kiruna would have been an alternative, but it was then on quite short notice. So if you want to make an exhibition at an art hall, you have to be
a year, 2 years.
Well in advance.
Yeah.
Several years often. So we were a bit late for that kind of place. And then after checking different places, I found this gallery in Vaasa, and we thought we'll start with that.
And when is it opening?
It's in the middle of October.
Oh, soon.
13th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that will be exciting. And we have planned to make. She can't make it to the start of the exhibition, so she will send me by post her works, And then I will build the exhibition, and we will have a finissage at the end of the exhibition. So that's the plan.
Yeah. And it's nice when it's textile art, it's safe to post, it won't break so easily. Even if they drop or throw packages around. So
Yeah.
Will come in one piece.
Yeah, that's yeah. And not so heavy. So it's not so expensive to send to the post. Yeah. So yeah. But I think it's nice every now and then to do projects, go out of the comfort zone, so to say.
Absolutely.
I haven't made that many. Actually, if I think about it, I don't remember having made an exhibition like together with one other artist. So,
but do you think the comfort zone is to work alone? And I mean, we were talking a bit about that yesterday, or Göran was talking about working in the privacy of a studio, and
yeah. I think you're onto something there, because I as a person, I feel I'm a bit introvert. I enjoy being alone, thinking about my ideas and imagining solutions on these, for example, technical challenges.
Yep.
So, but yeah. So I haven't been working that much together in groups.
I wonder if a certain sense of isolation is necessary as well. Maybe it depends on what kind of artist you are, but it seems quite common that artists require a certain kind of working alone period to be able to, I wonder why that is.
At least for me, I feel this like being in a place like this also, to find these quiet spaces and not being disturbed by the society of today with all impressions and sounds and the internet and so for me, I need the isolation. It's like really important, at least for me. But then important also every now and then to find a context.
I guess it depends on finding the common ground too, because you obviously approach this artist because you have a starting point that's similar. You have the common ground of both of your interest in activism and climate issues.
Yeah,
it becomes easier to have a shared conversation because
yeah. And I think it's, even though isolation is important every now and then, I can tell you I am not antisocial. I like I like also spending time with people. It's really nice to talk to you today. But I think it's important with these contrasts, because if you are always in these crowded areas connected to the internet and only getting impressions, it's hard to produce anything. At least for me, it works that way. I don't know about you, how you think about it.
Yeah, I think in this place now I'm starting to feel a calm, like you mentioned earlier, that when we're in the regular society, we have so much going on around us. Not only the people and the traffic and everything, but we have the lights and the sounds also. And here we take away a lot of the artificial sounds. I haven't heard that many. I haven't heard any cars, of course, because we're 1.5 hours away from the nearest town. But some boats we could hear yesterday. Today I haven't heard anything like this. So I just heard wind and some sheep that are walking around on this island and the waves. So it's starting to calm me down, and my thoughts are getting organized in a different way instead of having this quick storm-like chaos going around in the head with ideas flying here and there. It's now starting to more crystallize. Like, okay, a bunch of ideas here and a bunch of ideas there, and it's really, really nice. So to give a little bit context, we're a group of artists that are spending 1 weekend on this island as an art retreat, and to discuss things and discuss art and inspire us to new works. I think that's the main idea of being here. To socialize and relax and get away for a short while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the nice combination of, you know, the calm, taking away the background noise and the quiet, but then also having a group of people that share a common ground that you can share ideas with. You know?
Absolutely.
It's like sort of the best of both worlds, you know.
Yeah, it's so interesting also to hear about the ideas of other, like getting impressions from other examples. And this, I think it was interesting at the breakfast when we talked about the importance of doing nothing also, not to have a scheme, but to. I think it's when you do nothing, it actually, your mind starts working, and you actually achieve a lot in the end. But
and one thing that we are starting to miss in today's society and in our lives is the feeling of boredom.
Yeah,
and that's an important thing.
That's a really important thing.
Because immediately if we start to feel bored or if we're waiting, then we pick up on a cell phone and connect ourselves to internet and start looking at stuff. And I don't know how it will change society and people and culture, but boredom is something important, I think.
Why is it important? Is it patience, or is there another reason that boredom's important, do you think?
I think it's when we're bored, we also have time to reflect over things and start thinking and and get away from stuff. When we are not bored, we are always stimulated with something and keep us going and have us in a constant stress, maybe.
And we stimulate ourselves, like we're really kind of passive. I feel we tend to consume. We watch what other people do on television and on internet instead of doing things ourselves.
Yeah.
But if we get bored and, like here, are in isolation, we start to maybe producing, thinking new ideas.
Yeah, like I think maybe like in old days when kids were bored and wanted to play and didn't have toys, they started making their own toys.
Yeah.
Like the classic with the kotte, what it's called.
This pine cone.
Pine cones, you take pine cones and put small sticks in it and suddenly it's a sheep or a cow or something like this.
Yeah, like imagination. Yeah.
And you create then instead of being fed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably really necessary for building your like imaginative world or your creativity, boredom, you know.
Uh-huh.
I liked what you said on. I read the statement on your website that that maybe as well as that we need shifts in technology, that we maybe also need a shift in mindset or ways of thinking. You know.
I think that is. Even if we talk about issues like climate change, common topic. So I think of course we need a development of new technology. That's also important. But I think this growth paradigm that if we think about the economy and the mindset when it comes to economy, we also need this really big mind shift, like maybe being satisfied with less, realizing that we already have what we need. And for me, if I talk for myself, I think time is really important. If you compare money and time, of course, one has to earn a bit of money, getting food and somewhere to sleep, but like this huge consumerism in society. If you want to consume a lot, you have to pay for the stuff and you have to work a lot to earn things. And at least for me, time is more. I feel time is so valuable.
Yep.
So I try to cut down the costs and in order to get time to. And like I said, this using recycled materials, that feels like also saving money.
Yep.
Not having to buy materials for hundreds and thousands of euros, but often getting them for free and then using them for a project. And then if it's a temporary installation, I use the materials and then it might continue. I recycle them afterwards.
So they become other artworks, or
sometimes yes, and sometimes they get to the end of
their lifespan.
and I recycle them like materials, metal, glass, whatever. But I thought also about this being in this place, as you talked about this isolation and calmness. I think it was yesterday. We also talked about walking and moving. So that I don't know how you feel, but I feel this like walking outdoors. It's kind of in one way doing nothing, but it's really a productive process. I feel.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, I like it and. Work also, if I get stuck with a problem or something I need to solve, then I go for a little walk around the building.
Yeah.
Then I have time to think, and maybe I will get an idea also while walking, something I see or something that will inspire me to come up with a solution to the problem.
Yeah. Maybe that's something that's common for all of, or the most of us. I don't know.
Yeah.
Body and mind, or.
Yeah. And we talked also yesterday about traveling, and same time while talking about walking, that different ways of traveling. That when we travel by airplane, it's very quick, but it's also, it's very abrupt. Suddenly you're in a different place, in a different country, a couple of hours, and for me it's a strange experience. Always like okay, maybe 6 hours, and then you're in not halfway around the world, but you're quite far away from your home country in a totally different world, and you have missed all the changes in between.
Yeah.
That are really important also when traveling, because if you travel by bus or train, then you see the small changes coming gradually, and you see the landscape change, and that's also a big part of the traveling experience. I think that you sometimes miss by flying.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it was so nice yesterday when we arrived with the boat. This boat was quite slow.
Yeah.
What was it? 1.5 hours maybe?
Yes.
And the distance wasn't that long, but I think it was a really pleasant journey. We got to discuss a lot on the boat. Being outside on the upper deck, some of us, feeling the warm wind and hearing the ocean.
I mean, Robert's journey was a bit different when he took his own boat.
Yeah. That was
phone in the water.
It was a bit more exciting, his journey. Yeah. I think it's nice when you talked about traveling. So these alternative ways of traveling, and not always the need to go that far, but this was what can it be, kilometers? Maybe 50 kilometers from home.
About
from Jakobstad, where we live. But for me, at least, I think I'm more relaxed here and with this kind of journey than as you said, flying.
Yeah.
Being stressed at an airport, like all the consumerism and all the impressions and the stress and
and the time you can't miss the flight, and if you have a change, you have to rush to the next airplane and so on. And so on.
I understand what you mean, Jokki, when you were saying about when you have a problem and you need to solve something and you go for a walk. Like that's a kind of thinking time walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really for travel. It's it's more just
Yeah,
to
yeah,
kind of
yeah. That's true. Yeah.
slow down or go at a different pace or.
Yeah, but you could use travel also in the same way. If you have a really big problem to solve, then you could go for a travel and
like
be
these people
inspired.
that go to Fatima or
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, to find yourself
Yeah.
on the other part of the globe.
I think somebody was saying yesterday that there are these routes. The quickest way to get to Fatima or something, the most efficient way to, which is kind of missing the point,
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess the walking is also a reflective time. It's not really about like getting to the destination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the travel itself is the journey is the important part. Also.
That's why I really like these boards around the island, that they have these sort of board paths.
Yeah.
It's really, and because you're on an island, you're just going around in a loop. You're not really getting anywhere, but it's this, it's like walking for walking's sake.
Yeah. And being in the elements, like I think it was really beautiful yesterday in the evening when we went together, the whole group, to watch the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Like the darkness and then these rays of light above us in the sky. And I think it was it bats?
Bats were flying around, yeah.
And when the bats passed the rays of light, it was like a star.
Yeah.
Getting lit up for a while.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
No, you really had the feeling of being on an earth spinning or something, a disc.
Yeah.
Because it looked like a big wheel going around with the light.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And then also, I think it was it some of us that got some good photographs of it with his camera, had a more advanced camera. But the rest of us, it was of course impossible with a mobile phone to get a picture of this. But that's also interesting in our time. I think we feel like we have to document everything and put it on Insta or Facebook.
Yeah, it's not only documenting, but to show.
Yeah.
Publish.
I have experienced this. Yeah. But I think it's really nice when it's not possible. You just have to, or you just get to experience.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, because documenting can kind of interrupt an experience sometimes, can't it?
Yes. And it's so fast. I notice myself when I have the mobile phone when we walked in the morning on the island that I pick it up often. I have to get a picture of this scenery and this scenery and this.
But why are you doing that? Is it because you want to show it to other people, or is it because you want to be able to go back to that memory whenever you want?
Maybe it's mostly like getting back to that memory. But then it gets lost on some memory card and you don't actually watch.
Thousands of photos. And
how about yourself? Do you
I
document a lot?
I can notice sometimes situations where I'm really overwhelmed and, kind of, it's like I don't want to lose the experience, so I photograph a lot.
Yeah.
I do use some photos for going back and, using them for an artwork or something. But sometimes I do really try and remind myself that it's more important to experience this than it is to document. And I felt like that yesterday as well when we were under the lighthouse.
But if you think about different ways of making documentation, like in the everyday life, I think it's, for me, at least it feels, I don't have the patience to do that much sketching.
Okay.
For example, sketching of landscapes or sceneries. But I've noticed when in these residencies, at least if you're for a longer time, for some weeks, or as some residents are for a month, maybe, then I noticed, now when we talk about this, then I start sketching also. I just got to think about this fast and slow ways of making documentation. And
What kind of sketches are you? I mean, you said that you do sketches for design, like when you're doing problem solving. But do you also do sketches of, like the landscape around you when you're on residencies, or?
Yeah. But as I said, in the everyday life, I don't. I feel or tell myself maybe that I don't have the time to do. Yes, it's more time consuming. But for example, on this island, as we have this nice lighthouse, old lighthouse behind us. If I would stay here for some more days, I might start sketching details of the lighthouse. Or
because when you draw something, you kind of never forget it also, and you remember it in a really interesting way.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so it goes. It records deeper in memory if you have a slow sketching process.
Yeah. And obviously you can't get all of the information in, so what you leave out is also important. You know, like,
so you filter it through the process. Yeah. Interesting.
I would love to sketch the sheep. The sheep.
Yeah. So do you make documentations in other? Of course, you are now making this podcast, but do you record sounds or?
I brought with me equipment when I was thinking about recording something here, but we'll see if I have time to do it. But now I feel stressed if I have time to do it. No, but I hope so that I could go out and record a little bit. So,
are there challenges with wind and mics?
A little bit, yeah. When it's windy, it could not make so good sound. But you can have like wind. What is it called? You can protect the mics from wind also, and find ways to do it.
One podcast episode with the sheep.
Yeah, try to have them talking.
Yeah.
I got to think about. We talk about recording sounds. Myself, I don't, at least at the moment, do sound recordings. But I got to think about some other artists that I saw in an exhibition that recorded a bird song and bird sounds.
Yeah.
And made on vinyl LP.
Yeah.
With this bird disco mixed together. It was really nice. Super nice. Like those sounds in a different context.
Yeah. Interesting. Who? What was this artist called? Do you remember?
I don't think I remember at the moment. It was a Finnish artist. He had this summer in this Mäntän Kuvataideviikot festival a piece. It was this this LP, Bird Disco or Birds Disco, and then there was a great video projected on the wall where he danced alone in the forest.
Oh, I have seen that.
Some
yeah.
with some minimalistic disco lights.
Mm-hmm. And had the LPs presented on the wall, I think.
Yeah. So you've seen it also.
Yeah.
Sad that I don't. Can it have been Autio or?
I can't remember. I wrote down the name.
We find it. But this was really great. And at this residency in Norway or Sápmi, where I spent a month some years ago. So there was this artist doing also. Soundscape was the name of the projects. Also recording birds and. So this artist was working also as a DJ every now and then. Then made these sound recordings of seabirds. LPs of that. So that was for me an exciting combination also. Combining these sounds of the outer archipelago.
How do you see your way of working in relation to other artists? I don't know. Is there artists that really inspired you in the beginning? Are they the same artists that you're interested in now, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. might be. I remember back at art school when I studied. One artist that springs into mind is this Andy Goldsworthy, if you know.
A land artist.
Land, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And make really kind of ecological art, only using materials in the nature, temporarily arranging them, and the artworks are the photographs, so to speak.
And it goes towards, if I'm right, it works with a lot of stone sculptures where they're built
also,
up into
yes,
sculptures.
Yeah.
And
I especially remember one project where I think it was brilliant. He used, it must have been in the beginning of winter.
mm-hmm.
It was below zero, so it was a stone wall, a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And he took smaller stones and dipped them into water. Maybe it was a lake nearby. And then he held them for a while against the cliff. They froze and got stuck. Then he took the next stone. So I think it was like a small pyramid of small stones out of the cliffs.
Oh, cool.
Cliff.
I've never seen that.
That maybe lasted until the temperature got above zero.
Is that what you liked about the sculptures there? Like the long, like the fact that they don't last very long and that they're...
The one part, of sculptures that I like. Yeah.
And not being wasteful with materials, obviously, you know.
And then another dimension, when you asked earlier about this technology, and we were talking about this simplicity, low-tech solutions. So one other dimension that I feel is central in my thinking and in my art is this slow, both low-tech and I call it slow-tech.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking, not being in a hurry all the time. As we have discussed here, being on this island, isolated, slowing down and listening to nature and to yourself. And so that's one thing I think in the society of today. One key problem also this tempo that we're that stressed. So we make often bad solutions when we don't think thoroughly through things. But
the solutions need to come so quickly to the problems.
Yeah,
I think experimentation is an important part too, and like you said, you know, I suppose you can make artworks that don't work as well. There needs to be a lot of, which is also a slow way of working.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's,
if you think about these artists, also that on purpose make, for example, technical constructions that are not supposed to work, and it's like, but they brand it. It's like it looks like a fancy product.
like I can't think of any examples.
I just got to talk about this Gulliksen, Alvar Gulliksen.
The bunk business.
Yeah, I think. But was it the bunk business he had?
I think so. I'm not sure, but I think so.
Like really colorful and fancy machines, but they didn't have a purpose, or they did.
No. That was a really, really nice project. I really liked those. That was in the 90s, early 2000s sometimes. Or does he still do it?
I don't know. I think it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember the purpose exactly. Maybe, was it some kind of criticism towards consumerism, maybe?
Maybe so, yeah.
How we package things and brand things. I think it was it Gulliksen who made this pink duck in Turku?
I think
I'm not sure.
That's a
like a big rubber ducky, like that you would have in the bath.
But combined, like I think it was a duck and a pig. like melted together some combination colored pink. They had to transport with helicopter, I think. It was quite big. But I think it's some kind of symbol for Turku still. Yeah.
I think also going back a little bit with this question about these quick solutions that we have to come up with, and we also have this, I believe this, it's not only fear, but something we are really afraid of is failing, and that's also part of being human, is to fail and not succeed immediately. But it seems to be like a big problem. And I can see that also that's something that art students are very much afraid of. But that's something maybe everybody needs to be better at, failing and learn how to fail and not be afraid of it also. And I think that is a big part of stress that people are feeling like.
Yeah, that you have to make things perfect. Yeah. And that's a really important point. I think you got there with this. Allowing oneself to fail. Yeah. Not being embarrassed about it, but embracing it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I think many, or even the most interesting ideas can come out of a failure.
Absolutely.
If you think also in history with penicillin and other inventions.
Yeah.
But if something happens out of the ordinary, you get to notice something that you wouldn't have thought about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably linked to the accident as well, something that you didn't plan for when you fail.
Have you experienced in your projects such things that...
I mean...
Like that the failure leads to something?
Failure can be really frustrating. Also.
Yeah, you also, That we have,
now I'm actually thinking of practical examples.
We have to admit that also, yes.
But I know that it's important to... If I'm thinking about doing painting, sometimes it looks like a big cloudy mess and you get really annoyed and then something happens and it all comes together in a way that you couldn't have planned for. But so much of being an artist, I think, is about this lifelong learning part too. Failure is also part of learning.
Yes.
We don't learn new things without failing. Also, I think. We can take in the ideas of others, but this lifelong learning thing about learning with from your own mistakes or your own choices. A lot of failing is part of that, I guess.
To realize that you are never finished. You're always
there's more to do and more to learn.
Yeah, more. Like having a humble approach to life and projects.
Yeah.
Is that important for you as an artist? Do you think, having a humble approach?
Yeah. I think in a way, I think it's also important. Thought a bit about that word. Of course, for yourself, being humble and able to telling people that you might have been wrong. You can changing your mind sometimes when you get new information.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate really much if for example, politicians, someone who can publicly, when he gets older, go out to media and tell that actually I realized I was wrong in this question. I had to rethink.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Instead of being stubborn, sticking onto an old idea.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that's also part of being an artist. Like if you work with different phases, you might question yourself.
But the conversation's more with yourself, though. I mean,
yeah. It's not.
But I know what you mean. Yeah. But I guess there's a humbleness to art making also that artists kind of, on some level, accept that it could be different. You know, like the solution you came up with in your artwork, it could be another way. You know, it could be. It's not always the best and final, final solution out of all possibilities. There's
yes. I got to think about this questioning oneself. Like we talk about sustainability issues, so I sometimes question myself doing this, even though I use recycled materials. Some of the installations or sculptures can be quite big. They have to get transported, and there is all this all these materials that on one level I would like to work more, be more immaterial in my approach. So that,
I guess you mentioned Andy Goldsworthy. That's one solution.
He's one.
That, isn't it?
Yeah. And like you are now making podcasts, I think that's like sound is, I think, a brilliant medium to. You can reach out to many people through this time quite advanced technology, but it doesn't demand that much. Sending a sound wave through.
No, even if it's advanced, then it's also very, very powerful. And easy to use in a way. So instead of, if you go back thinking about radio, if you would like to broadcast something around the world, it was a big operation to do it. But right now it's easy to do. A couple of button presses and it's done. Yeah,
you can reach a really big audience globally. That if you do installations and sculptures in Ostrobotnia, a small gallery, it might be. The audience is not that big.
No.
But is it important that the audience is big?
No. Of course, it's not the main. I just was thinking about the relation, connection between the materials used and the effect or the.
How necessary is it to use the materials? Or I mean, sometimes I think about that, with building big installations of, big objects and heavy stuff that just, and if not many people come and see the exhibition, is it worth making the art, or are you wasting materials for,
So you're also thinking a bit.
Yeah, and I think it's a hard question, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know what I think.
So that's a process for both of us. I think.
Any last things we want to talk about?
I think we covered quite many subjects.
It's more how to round up.
It was really nice talking to you.
This has been the Invisible Cities podcast, and today's guest has been Simon Gripenberg. I am Joakim Jocke Finnholm. Thank you very much for listening.
And I am Anneli Holmström. Thank you.
Bye.